and he had done something, and I think HBO had taken an interest in him. And so they said, hey, we want to do something with you. So he says, I'm just telling you as common courtesy as a friend, basically. Probably wasn't in those words, but you get the gist. He was like, if I blow up, I don't want you to say that, I ain't look out for my boy. So you should tell me right now what it is that you're trying to do. Do you want to audition for one of the roles? And I was like, I saw the opportunity, man. I saw it so clear. I said, nah, I want to be in that writing room. I want to be on that writer's staff. He said, what?
Smart man.
Nah, man, I'm talking about something realistic, like acting. I said, no, that's what I want to do. I want to be a writer. And he said to me, man, that's what the white boys do. And I said, I know, man, but I could write. Now he's shooting House Party at the time, House Party 2.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, just come down to the set and we'll talk about it. So I go down to the set the next day and I take him a handful of scripts. I tell a stack. And I say, yo, man, I got these scripts. He's damn near in the middle of a scene. He goes, yo, man, put those in my dressing room. You can't bring those on the set. So I left him in his dressing room and then I left. So he calls me up and says, where you go? I was looking for you. I said, man, I was letting you handle your business, man, but I left those scripts there. He said, oh, all right, I'll check them out. I said, well, I don't know if he's ever gonna read or whatever. He calls me the next day and he says, bro, I am so sorry. I had no idea. Bro, you need to come to my house right now. Wow. I had no idea you were this talented. Did you write these scripts? I see every one of them. He said, whatever I do, you have to be my writer. Now I felt empowered.
You see what happens when you take the initiative and things. Now, it's nothing for him to have a famous friend who's in the movie industry moving and shaking, right? But Martin gave him the opportunity and he came through with the work. You feel what I'm saying? Like, he didn't hand him anything. He just told him, like, yo, I want to be a writer. So he was like, all right, yeah, cool. Even though that's usually what the white boys do. He was like, all right, yeah, cool. But he still followed through on that. I like hearing stories like this.
I found it. I found my lane.
Start glowing. You start getting the glow. Start getting the glow.
Like, you're the master.
I was like this, it's really happening to me.
Yeah.
Still didn't necessarily believe it, but I was still like, it's happening. So now he starts taking me to all these meetings with him and I'm going. And I go, one of the meetings we went to was at 20th Century Fox Studios and we would drive on the lot. I'm going, we made it. We here.
We made
and
it.
when we go to the meeting, and I've told this story before, but it was just funny how it happened because when we walk down the hall, we're seeing all these movie stars on the wall from Charlie Chaplin to you name it. And we get there and they're like, Mr. Lawrence, they're waiting for you in the conference room. And he says, come on, Ben. And they're like, oh no, your friend can sit here in the waiting room. And and I said, cool, I'll sit here in the waiting room. And he looked at me like, what? And so he said, oh no, I'm not going in there if he can't come in. So
wow.
Lo and behold, I end up going in this meeting with him and all these executives are in the meeting. All these white faces. And John Bowman, who ended up creating the Martin Show, is in the room, young cat in his 30s. I'm probably early 20s at the time. And so they're asking me, so sir, what is it that you do? And Martin's like, yeah, tell them what you do. I said, well, I'm a writer, I write. Well, what have you written? Yeah, well, I got these Cosby Show scripts and they're looking at me like
what the hell?
I said, Keenan's talking about letting me, write a couple of sketches for In Living Color. And, I'm playing the game, right? Yes. And so they're like, yeah, well, no, that's not going to work. Anyway, Martin, this is John Bowman. He's going to partner with you and you guys are going to come up with something. So anyway, to make the long story short, I'm sitting there. I felt like an idiot at that time, but I still just played it. We leave the meeting. Martin don't say a word to me. He don't speak to me. He's so infuriated with me at this time, and I couldn't understand why until later. We got to the car, and he just looked at me and said, look, man, don't never do that again. I said, what did I do? He said, bro, you belong in that meeting, man. Now, if you're going to take this ride with me, you got to believe in yourself. You got to learn your self-worth. If I took you in that meeting, you don't say, I'll sit outside. No, this is what they do. Mm-hmm. And it was amazing that a young cat like that understood that level of importance and respect in the game in our early 20s.
Wow.
He said, nah, man, you belong, but if you don't want to take the ride, I understand. And it was a very lonely ride home in the car that day because I was like, I couldn't really understand why he was mad at me.
He wanted you to stand in your power.
Yeah, he wants you to boss up.
He wanted me to boss up, bro.
You to boss up.
He wanted me to boss up because he was ready to boss. He was bossing up.
That's what I'm about to say. So Martin had that in him already. He already knew past the talent, the business. He's like, nah. This
One of the strongest people that I've ever met in my entire life.
Wow.
A real boss, a real power broker, a guy that really understood his self-worth and understands it to this day.
So anybody that know me know that Martin is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. I could tell you every single episode. I could probably tell you word for word some scenes. I mean, I got all the box sets on DVD. Yes, DVD for the kids that might be watching. Like, what's DVD? Yes, I have all of that, man. I grew up on Martin, in the 90s. We used to watch it on Fox when it came on. So, hearing stories like this, man, is always dope. But I do want to talk about the situation that happened with him. Anthony Mackie just came out in an interview recently, and he said, it was a quote that he said, success in this world isn't earned, it's given. And when we're young, they tell us to, you always work hard, go to school, get you a good job, and, go to college, and you do all those things, and you too can be successful. But in this world, it's not how it works. In this world, and the older I've gotten, I've learned that it's more so about who you know. It's not really about what you know. And this meeting right here that Martin was taking with these people, he wanted to make sure that his friend understood that as well. Now, for those who don't recognize the guy, he actually played the scene in Martin, the guy that was in the DMV where he was calling Martin Almody. That's him, right? So he was also a writer, and he also was acting in the series as well. But yeah, like I said, I just think it's dope. Martin at his height, was still looking out for his friends. And like he told him, he like, look, if you're gonna take this ride with me, you have to act like you belong here. I had a homie tell me that a long time ago. Like, look, you walk into these rooms, if you walk in with the confidence like you're supposed to be here, 9 times out of 10, that's how they're going to treat you. And as you can see from the meeting that he took, he kind of went in timid. And I can understand you in your early 20s, you're just trying to play the game. I probably would have did the same thing because I'm introverted and, I'm just trying to play the game. But Martin understood back then, like, look, they do the same thing. You know how many unqualified people go into rooms and come out with jobs just because they walk in there and they say the right thing, and they walk in there with their chest out, and they're punctual and they're convincing. They'll be the one to leave with the job before the person with the long resume, because that's just how it is. Also, to even have a friend in a space that can bring you into those rooms is such a blessing, because for a lot of us, even people like myself doing YouTube, and I'm pretty sure people like you who are trying to do things and be successful, a lot of us don't have those networks. You get what I'm saying? Like, a lot of us have to start from completely zero and build ourselves up. But for him, like you said, he saw the opportunity, but he didn't waste it, right? He could have easily just been like, man, all right, Martin, let me get a little clip in a TV show. You know what I'm saying? Let me come to the after parties with you. Like, he like, nah, I want to be a writer. And I think that's smart. It's great foreshadowing. It's great seeing where you already want to be, and Martin himself embracing that, not knocking them down. Like, man, you want to be a writer, man? Hell nah, bro. Come act come be like a background. He like, nah. I want to be a writer. And Martin actually being a great enough friend to tell him like, yo, you are amazing at this. I need you to be in these rooms with me. But yeah, man, it's the Kid Ríez. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, make sure y'all be safe, stay carefree, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace.